Welcome, my friends. I wanted to take some time this week to address a question that I've certainly thought an awful lot about as a player, and it's one of the things I continue to get asked all the time, which is, how can I sound different? I'm not currently stoked about my playing. I want to sound different. How can I get a better result? How can I break the rut and go elsewhere with my playing? I've hit a wall. I'm stuck. I've plateaued. Well, this question is a tough one, but I can tell you this. It certainly doesn't require 10,000 hours to get a better sound. So, what I want to talk to you about is intentionality, setting the intention for a new version of you, a new version of your playing. So, one of the ways that we're going to do that, the first thing you're going to need to be able to do is to record yourself. So, hearing yourself in a different context where you're not constantly judging every action that you do. Oh, that was terrible. Why did I do that? Oh my God. You want to listen from a different perspective, right? And the only way to do that is sort of detach from your performance or improv mode and get into a more listening perspective and highlight some of the things that you may like about your playing and you may not like about your playing. And either way, whatever you end up with is going to take you somewhere. So you're going to listen to it from a different perspective, make a couple of notes. So this could be as simple as recording a progression. Now, this could work for rhythm, lead, doesn't really matter. What matters the most is getting to a point where you can listen and react to it as a listener and not so much as a player in the moment. So as you record this, it could be an improv, it could be a rhythm snippet. You're going to record about a minute or so of your playing. And what you want to listen for are those little quirks that may drive you nuts, or maybe they might even surprise you as they're jumping off the speakers. You might be excited to hear, wow, that's how I sound. It's almost like hearing your own speaking voice when it's recorded back. Most people kind of have this, is that how I really sound? Kind of scares you a little bit. But, we have to make ourselves uncomfortable sometimes in order to elicit growth. So listening back, make some notes, and don't go crazy with it just yet. Try to make, somewhere between 3 and 5 notes. I like this. I didn't like that. And then I want you to think about what's missing, if anything. As creatures, human creatures, we are always comparing ourselves to other things, and a lot of us have high standards, and we've got this voice in our head that may or may not say that's not good enough. It's never good enough. Okay, you're going to have to shove that aside or train yourself to slowly ditch that way of thinking, at least in these moments where you're listening back. So we have to limit our answers that are coming up. 3 to 5 things that you like about your playing, 3 to 5 things that you don't like. And hopefully you can see both. And if you can't, this is a good opportunity to ask somebody that might be an objective listener, maybe a bandmate, maybe another guitar playing friend, or a teacher. In any case, the next step is to make a list of some of those things that you can fix. Now, you may not know what's fixable right off the bat, but to write them down and at least start the thought process to unravel something that might be bugging you or might be a persistent point. From there, we're going to progress even further, create a plan of action. So plan of action, for me, I got this idea from Carl Verheyen, which is to actually keep a lick journal. So as you're writing tablature or writing some notes out in standard notation, what you're going to notice is that you're going about the neck in a different way. If we leave everything to chance, if we're always just improvising it, how can we actually get better quickly? And it's kind of regurgitation. I hate to use that word, but what I mean to say is the repetition is going to come out. We're going to revert to our old ways. So to short circuit that, what we're going to think about is how we want to sound. You'll have those 3 to 5 things to plug into this. And you're actually going to draw this out in tablature and create a few lines to try out. So maybe you might consider, if it were wide intervals, I'd want to find ways to do that on the guitar. What are wide intervals? I don't know, a fifth. Find some shapes on the guitar, tab them out, put them into some rhythm, maybe even give yourself a context for how this stuff is going to work. So I'm going to come up with some ideas in D minor or G dominant, Mixolydian type of thing. So this is up to you where you're going to take it, but I want to encourage you to limit these ideas. So whittle them down. Go ahead and fill up a page if you want, but whittle them down in the end to 3 to 5 ideas that you can really map out. And what's going to happen is it's sort of like carving something. At first, it's going to be a big mess of a thing, and you're going to have to strip down some things that don't belong. And eventually, you're going to be left with something that's very different than the way that you normally play. And this is what you want to attach to. This is what you want to hopefully whittle down to the point where you can actually record the snippet and hear, yes, I didn't go to that path I normally chose, or I didn't revert to that lick that I always play in G Lydian. So you see where I'm going with this is that we have this plan, 3 steps. Number 1, record yourself. Number 2, observe. What did you like about your playing? What did you not like about your playing? How is it missing anything? Is it something that surprised you? Was it a good surprise? Was it a bad surprise? Be specific. Next up, we want to begin to create some new pathways. So a few things, 3 to 5 things that we'd like to do differently. Maybe things that you admire from a different player. Maybe some things that are really fun from your favorite guitar solo. Just thinking out loud here, but helping you to brainstorm your way into a new way of showing up as a guitar player. We don't always have to do everything 100% off the cuff. It's more to it than just learning scales and chord relationships and playing licks that we steal from God knows who. But how we put this stuff together, we can grow a lot. We can grow quickly by thinking about what we don't like, what we like, and creating those new pathways deliberately through drawing out some notes or using your favorite tablature program to give us that result. So a bit of a long-winded talk this week, but I really wanted to put this in perspective for everybody that might be wondering or even going through some frustration about the way that they sound. So there is hope for you. This is absolutely doable. And you're going to be surprised. It doesn't take hours and hours and hours to get to this place. It just takes a few minutes of intentionality. Trust me, it works. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help. Have some fun with it. Let me know what comes up. I'll see you next time.